Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a literal game changer in the tech landscape. We're looking at a massive announcement from a company called Linkspreed LLC. Historically, they've been this incredibly powerful, yet kind of invisible back-end architecture provider. But today, we're going to see how they're making a monumental pivot into a dual-track digital powerhouse. They are stepping right out from behind the curtain to completely reshape how we interact online.
But before we get into the nuts and bolts of what Linkspreed is actually building, I want you to stop and reflect on your own digital life for a second. Who really owns your digital identity? I mean, right now, we're in the middle of a modern crisis, one that's totally dominated by massive data monopolies. These legacy big tech giants, they've built absolute empires on algorithmic exploitation and, frankly, data dispossession. They're constantly monitoring, packaging, and selling your interactions. It's a super restrictive model, and it's exactly what Linkspreed is trying to dismantle.
Okay, let's break this whole thing down. Our roadmap for today covers 1. The digital sovereignty vision, 2. The invisible Web 4 engine, 3. Forging the front-end sword, 4. Integrating Web 4 Fintech, and finally 5. The unwavering developer promise. If some of that sounds like complex Web 4 jargon, don't sweat it. We're going to unpack all of it clearly as we go. All right, jumping right into Section 1, the digital sovereignty vision, dismantling data monopolies. So, digital sovereignty. It's a big term, but it is absolutely crucial. It's really the beating heart of Linkspreed, which, fun fact, was founded with this super radical vision out in Albuquerque, New Mexico. At its core, digital sovereignty is about returning absolute control of identity, data, and monetization directly back to the builders, the creators, and the businesses who actually generate the value. From day one, Linkspreed was built to tear down the gatekeeping of the traditional web. Because, why should you have to rent your audience from some giant monolithic platform that can just change its algorithm on a whim? You shouldn't.
We're talking about a massive paradigm shift here. On one side, you have legacy big tech, relying on account censorship, harvesting your data, and algorithmic exploitation. And then on the flip side, you have the Linkspreed Web 4 model. This champions native privacy protection and dynamic many-to-many community interactions. It is a complete inversion of how the internet has operated for the last 15 years.
Which brings us to Section 2, the invisible Web 4 engine, or as it's known, the Shield.
To really grasp Linkspreed's evolution, we have to talk about a slightly heavy bit of industry jargon, SNAS, or Social Network as a Service. Up until this point, Linkspreed has strictly acted as the invisible engine for everyone else. Instead of building their own platforms that you and I log into, they provided the technical framework so that other users could build, brand, and deploy their own independent networks. Basically, they gave folks the tools to become the platform themselves.
So, what's actually under the hood of this infrastructure shield? While operating on a really cool AI-first development philosophy, they've built a modular 7-layer technical framework. This whole system is powered by the Atrium deployment suite, and it's all locked down by a Layer 1 Universal Integrated Identity Protocol, known as UIID. In plain English, this highly secure architecture gives builders complete 100% freedom to design their own customized, totally sovereign spaces on the web.
And here is the kicker, the absolute best part, 0%. When builders use Linkspreed's tools to spin up these independent networks, Linkspreed takes a 0% revenue cut. No success tax, no hidden fees. Just 0. This really punctuates their creator-first ethos. They give you the infrastructure, but they absolutely refuse to siphon off the profits of the people using it.
Moving right along to Section 3, forging the front-end sword, self-hosted networks. Okay, this is where the major pivot happens. Linkspreed is introducing a dual-track strategy. They are expanding their portfolio to build and self-host their own proprietary social networks and media platforms. Think of the infrastructure we just talked about as their shield. Now, they are forging their own sword. They're still going to power third-party platforms for sure, but they are now stepping forward to connect people directly through their own consumer-facing apps. We're talking about a safe, unsiloed, highly advanced user experience.
You might be wondering, why step into the consumer space at all? Well, the goal of self-hosting is to demonstrate the sheer, raw capability of this Web 4 architecture at a massive scale. They literally want to set new global benchmarks for what online communities can be. By launching their own ecosystems, they want to show the world exactly what seamless connectivity looks like when users don't have to constantly worry about being exploited by an algorithm or getting their accounts censored.
That takes us to Section 4, integrating Web 4 Fintech, the foundational economy.
Because they aren't just stopping at social networks. Linkspreed is breaking serious ground financial technology too.
They're gearing up to deploy specialized fintech solutions for a select beta test. This is all built on 3 core pillars: frictionless transactions, borderless monetization strategies, and verified peer-to-peer handshakes. By weaving this directly into their portfolio, they're creating a foundational economy right inside their self-hosted ecosystems. It means creators and users can actually exchange value securely and with absolute confidence.
And here is where it all kind of magically clicks together. This entire fintech economy is backed by the intense security of Linkspreed's digital passport protocol, that UID we mentioned a minute ago. What does that mean for you? It means financial interactions and social networking can finally live together seamlessly under one sovereign framework. You don't need 5 different apps and a bunch of clunky payment processors anymore. It is one integrated, safe, and totally frictionless reality.
Finally, we reach Section 5, the unwavering developer promise, where nothing changes.
Now, if you are an agency, a creator, or a business already using Linkspreed, you might be holding your breath. Don't worry, absolutely nothing changes for you. That fundamental ethos of choice and flexibility, it's not going anywhere. The modular infrastructure, the Atrium Studio, that incredible 0% take rate, it is all staying exactly where it is. This move into self-hosted properties is an addition, not a replacement. The shield is still wide open for anyone who wants to forge their own custom platform. Linkspreed is just stepping onto the field to show what they can do with it themselves.
Actually, I have to read you this quote from Marc Herdina, the founder and CEO of Linkspreed, because he hits the nail right on the head. He says, "We are standing at the precipice of a massive digital paradigm shift. A decentralized internet isn't just a backend framework. It is a functional, beautiful, and economically viable reality." This is huge, guys. This isn't just some standard corporate update, it is a historic moment in tech. They are proving that an open, sovereign internet is really, truly ready for everyday users.
Which leaves us with this final burning question. Are you ready to claim your digital sovereignty? The web honestly doesn't have to be a place where you are just a product being sold to the highest bidder. With these self-hosted networks rolling out and the fintech beta right around the corner, a totally new era is quite literally on the horizon. I highly encourage you to keep an eye out for when registration opens through official Linkspreed channels and the Web4 Studio later this year. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep asking the right questions, and I'll catch you next time.